Well, alright. Welcome to another one about my Stump's World of Tanks Xbox One replays. Hey now. Yeah, I'm just got back from camping, so I'm gonna throw a quick video together. While I was camping, I went through some of my old videos and my garage videos. Someone was asking about a garage video, so I said, well, I'm gonna go watch my old garage videos, and have things changed. I don't have enough time right now to do the tier 9 video. I was gonna try to do that, but everyone's here, you know. It's like I said in one of my other videos, it has to be really quiet, because I do these ones live. I don't record them after the fact when it's quiet late at night or whatever, when the kids are sleeping and stuff. So my problem is if I'm 4 minutes into it, these videos are usually 20, 25, 30 minutes long, and if I'm 26 minutes into it and one of my kids, comes knocking on the door and screaming, yeah, I don't want to hear that. So it's hard for me to get some time to do these videos, but I have let them know I need 10 minutes here to do a quick video, live video, and so that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing is, this is basically a garage update on tiers 1 through 8. Like I said, I was going to do tier 9, but I can't do it at this moment. I need, an hour or so with no kids around and everything else when they're gone somewhere to do that. So what I'm going to do is just a quick update on tanks that I have picked up since my first series of videos, up to tier 8. So I went through and I favorited them all. Every tank that I went through my list, watched the videos, and found the tanks that I didn't have back then that I have now. And this is going to be really short. It's not going to be anything really, fancy, in-depth or anything. It's just going to be a quick run-through of the tanks and my quick impressions or whatnot of them as I go. So I hope this, puts a little happiness in someone's belly, for a garage look. Again, I'm going to do tier 9 and tier 10 separate videos. Originally I was going to do them together, but I have quite a few tanks now, so I'm just going to do them separate, and they should be coming out, at least the 9 should be coming out in the next couple weeks. So alright, here we go. Let's just do this little quick video and get it over with. Tier 1. The only tier 1 that I had before was the Leak Tractor, or whatever, it's L Tractor, and the only other tier 1 I have is the T22 Proto. Picked this up when it first came out just to try it out, and if I'm not mistaken, when it first came out, it had killer armor. It had 40 millimeters, I think, and then everyone complained and they dropped it to 21 and 18. I think it had 40 millimeters on the sides, 40 millimeters on the front, 40 millimeters on turret, so they were like almost impenetrable for the first month or so, and then they changed it, I believe. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. At least it seems like it. I don't play this, I picked it up just because it was there. I didn't even realize it was there for a couple weeks or something. But played a few games in it, and yeah, I don't ever touch it. But it's just sitting there because, if I ever need the garage slot, there it is. I can just dump this and take the garage slot. So, alright, we'll go on to tier 2. And tier 2, 2 tanks that I did not have back then, and I have now. And I had played through these, obviously. But I went back to my stats, and I went to, what is it? What's the site there? World of Tanks Info, I believe, and looked at some of the stats when they released the advanced stats, and looked at a few of the stats that I had, tanks I had really, really bad stats in, and I made a list, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy a few of these, and I'm going to play them and get my stats up. This was one of them. T2 medium. Of course, I had this when I first started the game. Didn't know how to play, ran around, got killed, everything else, so I am going to bring the stats up in this. I've played just a couple games in it since I purchased it back, and haven't really done much to it, but I am bound and determined I am going to bring this to purple status. Watch me roar. Same thing with the Cruiser 3, basic same thing when I went through it. I just snapped through it and just died and, did whatever I could, and had horrible stats in it. And again, that's why that's here too. I'm going to try to bring the stats up. Some people on the forums and stuff, they talk about doing re-rolls when you start completely over on a new account, and I have too much money invested in this to start all over. My stats would be so much better if I could, but I'm not gonna, because there's too many tanks that I've purchased and stuff, too much money I've spent in this game to start over. So the next best thing is to go back and play them tanks that I sucked in, and hopefully hopefully, bring the stats up just a little bit. So that's why that's there. Tier 3. Alright, now we get to our first section, which actually has a few tanks that I do not have. And another one of those ones that, same idea, was the M2 medium. I played through it and did crap with it, and I want to bring the stats up, so that's why that's there. This right here I picked up because I love the PZS-35, which is the German version of this. The German PZS-35, from what I understand, was this tank captured, and they put a different turret on it, and voila. And the PZS-35 Premium Tier 3 is it's just a monster. It's the best Tier 3 Premium, I think, in the game. So I saw this and I was like, you know something, I'm going to try that out. So that's why that's here. I only played a couple games in it so far. Haven't really done much to it. I don't think it's as good as a PZS-35. Not nearly as good, actually. But that's just my first impressions. I haven't played enough games to actually, really figure it out yet. So, FCM 36 Pack 40. Another tank that I've purchased since I did the first video. I have only honestly played this tank 3 times, I think. And it's so freaking slow that I just have no desire to play it. But I keep on telling myself, no, gonna play it. Everyone says it's such a great long-range sniper. At Tier 3 you can just sit back, and it does. It has killer view range. I think the view range is 400 meters at Tier 3. Put a couple perks on there, and you can see halfway across the map, and no one can see you, and you can just sit there and pop, 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 pop. So, yeah, we'll play that eventually. Maybe I'll get some videos up of it. T1-27 Premium Russian with my pumpkin on the side of it. You like that? Ha ha ha. It's the great bumpy pumpkin. Yeah, this tank is another monster at Tier 3. I purchased the Motherland on this account, but I actually have my other account, which no one really knows. Very few people know the name of it. That I play on occasionally. Not really that much, but when I got the Motherland on that account, I did all of the op in this one tank, except for one game I played in the IS-6 was 6,000 something XP. Other than that, every bit of XP was done in this tank right here. I think I had like 3 games that were like really like 10, 11, 12 kills. I think one was 10, one was 11. I think the other one was like 8. It's just, this tank is a monster. It's a really good tank. So anyone that never purchased this premium tank should go get one, because it's definitely worth playing. It's fun. It's I don't know how to, it is what it is, but it's really not super fast. It's not super armored, but the sloping of the armor, and there's enough speed, and the gun is punchy and quick enough that it can really do some damage. And the armor does, like I said, the armor isn't horribly thick. It's 40 millimeters, 30 millimeters on the side, 40 millimeters on the front of the turret. But the great thing about it is the sloping brings it up so much more, I believe. I don't know the exact figures. I'm not going to look them up, but trust me, this is a tank worth getting if you don't have it. BT-SV. Yeah, this thing's a turd. It looks like a turd. It is a turd. When this came out, they released it, and they said, hey, get this quick, blah, blah, blah. I instantly went to Jingle's video, and like many people do. Excuse me. I instantly went to Jingle's and saw a couple videos where he just raved about it, and it was great and this and that, so I was like, okay, it's cheap, I'll purchase it. Yeah, this thing's junk. This thing, it says all the sloping and this and that, blah, blah. This thing can't bounce a fucking peanut shell thrown at it. And it's quick in a straight line, but it can't turn worth shit. So, yeah, I think I've only played probably maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 games tops in it. And it just sits there. I don't have any desire whatsoever to play it. So, anyone looking to buy this, run the other way and buy this. Alright, let's go into the Tier 4s. Excuse me again. Alright, M8A1, American Tank Destroyer. I played through this way back when it was first introduced and put into the game, and then got rid of it. And then I was like, something, it's not a bad little tank destroyer, so I'm going to buy it back. And I've played not quite a few, but a few games in it. And I'm glad I bought it back. It'll just sit there, and every once in a while people want to play a Tier 4 game. A lot of times this is the bad boy I'll take out because it doesn't get preferential matchmaking or anything. It's a normal tank, and a lot of times when you're in a platoon with other people, you know, and they want to play tier 4, they don't have the tier 4s. You say, okay, well, I have this tier 4, and it only goes up to tier 5, and they can't, you know, can't do it because not as many people are tank whores as I am. So, you know, when you get you need a few tanks in your garage you can actually play with other, you know, play games with other people with. So, and this is one, it's always reliable, it always works. You know, stay hidden and keep the gun just a singing, and it can be a really good tank destroyer at tier 4. The Matilda I played way back, another one I played way back, didn't do very good in, and I am bound and determined to get my stats way up in it. I've had quite a few good games in it. This thing is when you get into tier 4 game in this thing is a monster. It really it is. If you get even in a tier 5 game, this thing can be just a beast. So yeah, you get into tier 6, yeah, not as much. But tier 4, if you're top tier, you just drive forward and shoot everything. So always always fun to have, especially get a platoon of like 3 or 4 of these, and you get a top tier game. And it's monster. The game's just monster. All right, on to the tier 5s, and we only have 3. T69. This personally I think is the best tier 5 tank in the game for being a tank destroyer. There might be other tier 5 tanks that are obviously heavies are better heavies, lights are better lighting, but this thing right here, to sit back, stay hidden, and snipe the hell out of the other team. This tank is just, it's awesome. Anyone that hasn't played it, if you play it correctly, you'll almost always guaranteed to have a good game in it. I think my stats are all super unicum in this tank. Something to that effect. It might be just be regular unicum. And I haven't played 100 games in it or nothing, but it's just every time I take it out, I can't seem to have a bad game. There's a lot of tanks in this game that I can't have a good game in. One of them you'll see in a few minutes when I get to tier 7. But there's a few tanks that I almost always seem to have good games in. This is one of them. Awesome tank. It only has 22 millimeters of armor, 19 on the side, 25 on the turret, but you get 96 to 160 pen, and you do 86 to 144 damage per shot. And at tier 5, the amount of shells that this thing fires per minute, almost 19 shells per minute. I mean, it's kind of like the Hellcat above it. The turret doesn't turn very quick. That's the one downfall on it. But the camo rating's decent. The speed is good, and the gun, you keep that gun singing from a hidden position, and it's great. Excelsior. I wasn't gonna buy this. This is another tank that I saw when they released. I went and watched Jingle's videos. He hates it, and I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna buy it. It's a piece of shit. You have to be a gold slinger to do it, and believe me, I don't mind slinging gold. That's not. But when you have to sling all gold in a tank, yeah. But then a couple of my people I platoon up with had them, and they were like, oh, buy it, it's on sale, go buy it. So I bought it, and I've had some actually pretty fun games in it. It can be a fun tank. The gun does let it down, but the armor's okay. The speed is okay. The turning is okay, and it's more like a fast heavy, really, for tier 5. When you compare this with the T14, this tank is so much better than T14. That doesn't mean it's a great tank, but the T14 is so bad, this is so good compared to the two. So, but the guns are almost similar. They bounce off, even tier 4s, they bounce off from tier 3s. They bounce off from once in a while. But just load a lot of premium and throw premium at people, and you'll do okay in it. The BDR-G1B. I had already gone through this tank when I made the last tier 5 video, but I repurchased it. A couple of friends had it, and they were working up the French line, so I was like, I'll buy it back. So I bought it back, and we platooned up in it and stuff, and it just sits there. I really don't use it, but it wasn't a bad tank. Outside of that big, huge cupola, it's a really good tank. It's got a monster gun for its tier. It does up to 300 damage per shot at tier 5. I mean, that's almost Russian. So it's When you come up over the hill and smack someone with this at tier 5 and they like lose 3/4 of their health, they're like, what the fuck? So yeah, it was fun. I just haven't sold it. I don't think I will. I think I'll keep it. It's a funky looking tank. It's kind of funny looking, but that's okay. Life doesn't always have to be serious, does it? Alright, on to the tier 6. Tier 6. You'll notice in my other video, if you've watched it, I had the Cromwell. And when I bought the Knight, I got rid of the Cromwell, thinking that, hey, I don't need 2 Cromwells. Yeah. The fully upgraded stock Cromwell is twice the tank this is. This is on special right now. It's on sale, and everyone's buying it. And a lot of people sing the praises of this tank in the forums and stuff. This gun just is nowhere near as good as the one that comes on the Tech Tree Cromwell. The accuracy is off. I believe the aiming bloom is bigger in this. The turret traverse a little bit slower. It's just not. It's lacking most of the great things that the Cromwell, fully upgraded Tech Tree Cromwell has. It's just, I know premiums are supposed to be just a little bit worse. I understand that. I can do good in my Cromwell. I can't do crap in this tank. It just seems like shot after shot after shot misses. It's just miss, 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 bounce, miss, bounce. And you can't shoot on the run in this. I mean, you just, at least not like you can a fully upgraded Tech Tree Cromwell. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I was used to playing that so much that I got in this and I was like, hey, wait a minute, it's just not as, this isn't working right. I don't know. But I've kept it because it's a premium, la la la. But yeah, I don't think I've played this in the last year, and I have no real desire to. Just doesn't do it for me. The tier 6 British Firefly. The Sherman Firefly, I don't know what it was supposed to be in real life. I mean, I know it was a Sherman, and they put the whatever gun it is there, 17-pounder, which is supposed to be pretty much the same gun as the TOG and other tanks like that. Yeah, this gun is just, the TOG's gun is reliable as hell. Its pen's decent, it aims decent, it hits decent, but the armor and the speed kill it. But the gun is good. That gun on this tank, the soft stats are so much different. And I didn't do horrible in this tank, but I don't recommend it for anyone. And I don't like how the camo doesn't cover all the drive wheels. Some camos do, and other camos don't. I don't know. All the drive wheels are a whole different color in this one. They're just the beige that the regular tank is. Whatever. But yeah, this tank, it's playable, I guess. But it just seems like the gun lets it down compared to other 17-pounders in the game. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just one of those tanks that I can't do good in. I don't know. AMX Chaffee. This tank is a boss. I rarely have a bad game in this as long as I play it smart. Load the clip, shoot some noobs, get out of dodge. Load the clip, shoot some noobs, get out of dodge. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If you get hit, you die, but you don't get hit. That's the key. Wait till everyone else is getting shot at, come around behind them, put 4 shots into them, whatever, unload your clip, take off, and laugh as you're doing it. Great tank, awesome tank. I wish it didn't see tier 10s. No, I would say it's a really good tank. It would be a great tank if it saw tier 9s. And that's it. Tier 10s, you gotta be really cautious at tier 10. Actually, when I get into a tier 10 game in it, I play it more like a passive light. I just go out, hide in a bush, do as much spotting as I can, and then I don't try to go out and shoot things unless they can't see me whatsoever. I don't fire whatsoever unless I'm in camo or hidden or back behind. In tier 10 games, save your health pool and everything until hopefully your team has taken out half, whittled them down and then taken health out of them. Then you can take off and just finish off tank, reload, finish off a tank, reload, go over here, finish off a tank, reload. it's great at that, and it's decent camo, decent view range, and it's quick. It's a really good tank when played like it's supposed to be. SU-100Y, absolute garbage, for me anyways. I'm never good at non-turreted tank destroyers anyways, and then you take one that has no camo, is as big as a house, and yeah, it has a big gun, but slow aim, slow everything. Just, I have it, I bought it, I haven't sold it because it's a premium, and yeah, I don't think I've played 5 games in it, maybe 10. It just doesn't do it for me at all. No desire whatsoever to play this tank. Now, your results may vary. You may love it. Me, not so much. Tier 7s. We got a few Tier 7s here. 9 of them that we didn't have before. The M41 Bulldog. I haven't got through this tank yet. I still have got, what, 50, 60,000, no, maybe 80,000 left to get to the next tank. I don't play it enough. I'm not a light tank player, and I do not have the autoloader on this. I have the regular gun, and I've had some decent games in it, but I don't seem like I have fun. It seems like it's way too much work to do good in this tank. I do want the one after it eventually, and I eventually will hunker down. I'm hoping eventually they do a on track 2 or something, or some kind of deal, and then I'll try to bust out a bunch of XP in it, because I do want the next tank. But the gun, 113 to 188 damage, it's just, the penetration's decent, it's just the damage is so small. But I mean, it is a small gun, small tank, for the most part. I mean, it's big for a small light, but it's quick enough, it turns almost quick enough, the turret turns almost quick enough, but, yeah, like I said, I don't hate playing it, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. But I want the next one, so I will keep it till I get there. The Scorpion, Tier 7 American Tank Destroyer. I bought the bundle with this in the t1-8 HTC. Excuse me. I rarely ever play it. I played a few games in it. It's just the turret traverse is so slow, and you have absolutely no armor whatsoever, that if your team isn't somewhat okay, it's just like, for every good game, you have 6 just wasted games that you try to go to a place where you think you should be, and then the team just folds in front of you and you die. The gun depression kind of sucks. The camo value isn't bad, but it's just, the gun hits hard, and it's not a horrible tank. Don't get me wrong, it's not horrible. It's just, it's hard to... it's hard to put this, you have to almost be, for me anyways, you have to almost be in the perfect situation for it to work good. Because if you're out of position whatsoever, not because you're out of position, but if you're out of position because your team didn't go a certain way and you're where you should be, but your team didn't go, to the points in front of you, or your team went there and then ran forward and all died, you can't get out of dodge and take off and relocate and get in another position quick enough, because you have no armor and you have no health pool. So it's like, one shot and you're almost dead, second shot you're definitely dead. And seeing it sees Tier 9s, a lot of times, a lot of Tier 9s take this out in one shot. Any big Tier 9s, it's just, you got to stay hidden. It's a pretty hard tank to play, because you have to play it almost like a light, not really a light, you have to play it like it is, which is a no armor, lightweight tank destroyer. You have to play it almost like the Borzig. The problem is the Borzig does 500 damage per shot, and this does what, 300? 180 to 300 at Tier 9. 1 millimeter of armor. Yeah, it's just, it's hard to have a really good, all the stars have to align for you to have a good game in this. I mean, well, not a good game, but a great game. And on the flip side, you have the t1-8 HTC, which has all kinds of armor. But you always seem to lose the gun in this. I said that I don't know if I did the video. I actually did a video, but I didn't post it when this was in the training rooms. And I sat there, and one of the videos, I sat there, I made the video, and the bots in the training room took out my gun 14 times. 14 times. Now, I wasn't trying really hard. I was actually letting them shoot me. I was pulling up and just pulling up in front of them, angling my armor, and see if I could bounce. That's what I was trying to do, to see how much the armor could take. The armor held up well. Of course, the bots are, what, tier 5 and 6, you facing them things. The armor held up well. The gun, every other shot, the gun was taken out. Every other shot, gun taken out. So I was like, yeah, hopefully it's not that bad in game, because of course auto locks, the bots auto lock right in that one spot. Well, yeah, so does everyone else. That big ring right there, right behind the gun, if you get penetrated there, your gun's taken out. So, yeah, this has a good arc to the gun. You can, aim it way over here, and you can aim it way over here. But the problem is when you aim it way over anywhere, you have that big wide open spot right there that just can get hit constantly. So I don't play it that often. I have a video that's going up, or I did put it up. I don't know. It's uploaded to YouTube. I don't know if it's public yet. Where Joe is in this, and I'm in my IS2. I don't think it's public yet. It will be in a few days here. Of course, it might be public by the time you see this video. So yeah, disregard that. But yeah, it's an alright tank, I guess. It's kind of a novelty thing. It's not a tank that I sit here and go, oh, I gotta play the t1-8 HTC. I gotta play it. The Challenger. This is the tank I was talking about in a few minutes ago, that no matter what, I cannot seem to have a team that has a brain. I cannot do good in this tank. And it's not my fault. I stay hidden, and I put the gun to work. It does low alpha per shot, boom, 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 and then my team is completely overrun, and I get killed. Try to relocate, take off, and then the other flank's gone. It just seems like every time I play this tank, I get a team of boneheads that can't do anything. It's so frustrating, because I want to play the tank, and I want to grind it, and it's just 23,900 XP, and that I haven't played a ton of games, but I can't seem to ever get anything over 1,000 XP game, because the team, I bet you I don't have a 40% win rate in this tank. It's not me. I'm playing it correctly. I'm not frontlining it, because you can't. It's got no armor. That big turret up there, anything can hit that and pop right through it. So you have to play back. You have to play like a sniper. And I will try to do that. And just like I said with the Scorpion, it seems that every time I do, I try to get in a decent position. I know I can snipe from here. I can see this side. I can see there. And then all of a sudden the Reds just bum rush the 3 tanks that go on that side, and we're all dead. And I try to relocate or something, and they catch up on me. And I was in a game actually tonight that I was on one side, and I put, I don't know, 9 or 10 shots in before the whole red team overran that side. So I'm like, shit, I gotta get out of here. So I turned around, took off, started going the other side of the map, and the whole team was dead on that side. There was only 3 of us left at that point. And I'm like, that's every game I get in this tank. It's just, I put up a video a few weeks ago on Lakeville, where all of my heavies on Lakeville went to the choke point and the swamp and sat there. There was 2 tanks that went to the town. The rest of the tanks went all back and sat on the choke. You know what was holding them up on the back? 3 tanks and an artillery were holding them all there. 3 tanks and an artillery held 9 of my teammates in that choke point, while the red team pushed the town and come all the way around. It's just, that's the games I get in this tank every time. And I don't understand why. I don't understand how one tank can just get... And you can't... Some tanks, you can say, okay, the team sucks. I'm going to do this. I can, shoot, relocate, shoot, relocate, and slowly whittle tanks down. You can't do it in this tank. It's just... I don't think the destroyer here I don't think it's a bad tank destroyer. If played like a tank destroyer, sit back and take your shots. The low alpha gun kind of meh. But the fact that for some reason I can't get a team that has half a brain just makes me not even want to play it. And it just could be me. Maybe it's my luck of the draw. I've probably played 30 games in it. I bet you 26 of them have been idiot teams. So you would think that the odds couldn't be that bad, but the Grey Joe had this tank and said he hated it. Said he couldn't stand it. And he pretty much the same thing. You can't do good in it. You can't, by the time you're doing good, your team's dead. So I don't know what the deal is. If Wargaming, World of Tanks ranks this tank higher than on its weight than it should be or something. I don't know. Or maybe I just completely suck at it. But for right now, I'm going to keep it and try to play through it. But I'm telling you, it's close for me just saying fuck it. Not even worth it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Tiger. The Tiger. Everyone should have a Tiger. I didn't have this in my garage last time, but it's here now. Everyone knows the Tiger, so I really don't need to talk about it. It's a decent tank. So there it is. IS-2. The Russian IS-2. I hate the IS. I do not like the IS-2 Chinese. But I've actually played this one and had some good games in it. And it still sees tier 9 and everything, and it just seems... I don't know what it is about it, but... maybe it's the cool paint that makes me, hey, yeah, I'm awesome. You get the awesome mentality in your head and you become awesome, right? I don't know, but then again, maybe it's just the fact that I've only played like 7 or 8 games in it and they've been decent games, so wait till I get a few more games in it, right? But with the IS, the Russian IS, I had to have a teammate with me to help me to do decent in the tank. It seemed like I'd go to an area where heavy should be, I'd fire, and then they'd all bum rush me and I'd be dead. Because they know the reload's so long. So if you had someone else with you, when you fired, they put 2 in for every 1 you fired, you could whittle tanks down really quick. This one seems to be different. I don't know if it's the penetration value is a little different, or if the luck value is a little different, But I've done good in it so far, knock on wood. Yeah, my desk is wood, so... knock on wood, and hopefully when I keep on playing it, I keep on getting some good games in it. And then if I do, maybe I'll try to go back and do the IS or the Chinese IS-2 and see if I can do better in those. ISU 122S. I haven't even played a game in this. I bought it, and there it sits. I haven't played a game in it yet, I don't believe. I just bought it because it was there, like I do a lot of premiums. And again, I don't love... non-turreted tank destroyers, but I'm bound and determined eventually I'm going to get good at them. So there that sits. One day I'll play it. I think I played it in the Proving Grounds just to try it out. And that's all I've done with it so far. T-34-1. I'd already been through this on the last video, but it wasn't there. I'd sold it, I guess. Oh no, I know what happened. I recorded the tier 7 video, and then I bought this and played through it, and then got the tier 8 one before I recorded the tier 8 video. So it wasn't in the tier 7 video, but the next tank up, the T-34-2, is in the tier 8 video. So it's not a bad tank. It's like a T-44, right? Is it the T-44 for the Russians? Pretty much the same tank. No gun depression really. But I played pretty much all the way through this without any free XP or anything, I believe. The crew's been moved up since then, and I haven't played it since then, but I kept it because it wasn't a bad little tank, really. I did okay in it, so, maybe one day I'll take it back out. The last of my tier 7s. I do not use the autoloader on it. I use the single shot, and 55,000 XP. I don't know what's needed for the next tank. 111. So I'm about halfway there, and I haven't used any free XP on this one either. I've played right straight up through. I even unlocked the autoloader, but I didn't like it. I went from there to this one, played this for a while, then unlocked the autoloader. I think I had like 60,000 or 70,000 XP, and then unlocked the autoloader and tried it. Didn't like it. I like the autoloader when you're up close, but you can't really get up close a lot in this because it's not fast enough to circle tanks and stuff. Up close, the autoloader is awesome. It's like boom, 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 and then get out of there. But the problem is you reload quicker than the autoloader can aim. So with my old fingers, I tend to fire away too quick. And it's loaded, click, and then of course the shots go way off in Lala Link because it's not aimed yet. So, but it hasn't been a horrible grind. This tank's not bad. It's not a bad tank. So, and obviously in the videos prior, I haven't had the tanks before this. I obviously went up through them. I think I started at tier 4. They did 4, 5, 6, and this is 7. You don't see them in the videos because although the one before this wasn't too bad, everyone before that's kind of crappy. So, but it's not. This isn't a horrible tank. I just prefer the single to the auto loader. And tier 8s. We have 6 tanks that weren't on my other video. And this right here, I will never get rid of this tank. This tank right here is one of the best tier 8 tanks that I've played. It is heavy enough to kind of play the heavy role if you're top tier. It's quick enough to play the medium role. It has a punchy enough gun to play the tank, destroyer, or heavy role. It has the aim and accuracy with the crew I have, which isn't a great crew. As you can see, I had a little bit better crew in it when I played it, but this is still just a 3 skills and 1 training. It's not a good crew, and I can still do good in this tank. I do have the rammer and the whatever it is there, vertical stabilizer. And this tank is great at like come up over hill, cresting, auto lock, fire. This is the auto lock king. If you are an auto lock player, this tank will do good for you. It just seems like the gun just works. Great tank, great tank, great tank. AMX CDC. I just purchased this today. I got back from camping, and it was on sale. And with a full package, I was like, yeah, I only had 210 days premium left. I do that, you know. I have money to blow, so why not blow it on this game, right? Even though it frustrates me sometimes, still, I wanted this tank just to have it. I played 4 games in it so far. One of them is gonna make it up on the channel, and it wasn't great, but it was okay. The rest of them, it just first game I played, I was in a tier 8 game. Second game, I was the only tier 8 in a tier 10 game with I think 8 tier 10s on each team. Yeah, it was some bad matchmaking for a second game. And I think I survived. We were on El Haluf, and I did okay. I did, I don't know, 15 or 1600 damage and survived, but it wasn't a good game whatsoever. I played really cautiously. And then I think the third game was a tier 8 game where I did okay. So I'll probably put that one up, just so, you know, it's just, I might wait for a better one. I'm not sure. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. First impressions, no armor. I think the FCM50T is probably a better tank. It's almost as quick. Turns as quick. Everything is in it. The armor's better on it. It says the speed is, you look at the stats, the speed is so much slower, but it's not. This tank doesn't seem as fast as it should be. But yeah, I'll leave my impressions for later. We'll see what happens. The Liberté. I haven't played this yet. I just bought it the other day when it went on sale. When I was actually camping when I bought it. I bought it through my phone. Now you can buy stuff through the store. And I purchased this really quick. Not that I needed it. I have the FCM50T, but I was like kind of kicking myself in the ass. It's like, I should have bought it just for the channel, just to have a, you know, big red, white, and blue, humongous tank with big old shields on the wheels, Captain America shields. I don't know what the chicken is. Someone explain that. I don't get that. Rooster, I don't know what that is, but whatever. But yeah, it's not a bad tank. I mean, it's the FCM50T, not a bad tank. Motherland. Absolute junk. Maybe some people like it. I can't. Maybe it's another tank, sort of like the Tier 7 Challenger. I just can't seem to get a team that's even remotely okay. 3 minutes into the game, the team's all dead, and here I am trying to face Tier 10 tanks all by myself. And it just seems like the gun lets you down. I had 2 games in a row that I didn't record, but I was shooting in KV-85s. Both games I shot KV-85s in the side, and I'm not talking from 600 meters either. I think one was 180 and one was 210 or 215, somewhere, and I couldn't penetrate. I put like 6 shots total, 4 into one and 2 into the other. There's 2 separate games, and all I could do was track damage or bounce off a KV-85 side. That's a tier 6 tank. And of course, I didn't have premium loaded, because you shouldn't have to use fucking premium on a tier 6 tank on the side of a tier 6 KV-85. Now, I don't know why. I have no idea why the gun trolls me so bad. But, yeah, I wished I had played through to get this free, because wasting money on this tank was yeah. And I don't mind wasting money. You see, I bought the Liberty, and I already have the SCM-50T. I bought the Amex EDC just because, but it just pisses me off that this tank doesn't play nearly as good as the T-44. At least, I don't think it does. So that's just my opinion. Again, your results may vary. Some people love this tank. I just can't seem to have... And I haven't played... I've probably played 12 or 15 games in it. And then I said, fuck that. I'm just not going to waste my time. So, that's where that stands. ISU 152. I bought this tank a while ago and have yet to play it. It's just sat here. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't upgraded it or nothing. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Again, like I said in this video a few minutes ago, a couple different times, I just don't like non-turreted tank destroyers. And I don't know why I bought it, because, yeah, one day I'm going to force myself to play it. Type 59. Now this tank right here, on the other hand, compared to the Motherland, because this only sees tier 9s, and I don't love this tank, but I love this tank a lot more than the Motherland. Much better tank than the Motherland, in my opinion. They play similar. I think the turret armor on this is much better. I think it moves just as quick, turns just as quick, and it has a better gun. And it only sees tier 9s. Go figure that one out. If you have your choice ever in the future to buy one of these two, if they have some sale in the future that they offer both of these at the same time, get the Type 59, skip the Motherland. And that's it. That will bring this video to a close. Now that it's what? It's going to be at least 45 minutes long by the time I get the intro into it. But yeah, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, pretty soon I should have the tier 9 and 10, at least the tier 9 video out within the next couple weeks, I hope. And then the tier 10 probably at least be a month after that. I don't put a lot of weight on doing these videos because they're just kind of a novelty. I had a lot more things in my life going on than worrying about doing a garage video. But some people ask about it once in a while, every so often, so, you know, I figured I'd give an update on the tiers 1 through 8, and I hope you enjoyed it. Comment or subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, tell me what you did right or wrong, and remember, when you're on that battlefield, shoot the red ones.